Hi there, I'm Tony Pina. This week we're going to be talking about needs analysis, a very important part of the instructional training design process. Now, has this ever happened to you? Have you ever attended a class or a workshop and they taught you things that you already knew? Isn't that boring? Don't you feel like your time has been wasted? Didn't you feel like perhaps you didn't get your money's worth? Well, as an HR professional, as a trainer, you certainly don't want to waste company time and company money training people on things they already know how to do. Now, if you're going to plan a trip, training is a lot like planning a trip. First of all, you need to know where it is you want to go. That's your destination. And you need to know where you are. That's your current location. And then your trip is kind of like a mathematical formula. You take your destination where you want to go, you subtract your current location where you are, and what is left is your trip, where you need to travel or how far you need to travel. Needs analysis is a lot like that. Like planning a trip, you need to know where you want your subjects to be when they're done with their training. And then you need to know where they are. So a lot like the trip, you need to know the optimal condition, where they should be, what they should be able to do, what they should know. And then you subtract the actual condition, what it is they know how to do and what it is they know about. You subtract that from what they should be, you subtract what they should be from what they are, and you end up with your training need. So needs analysis is a way to do that. In creating a training program, you take the optimal performance. That's your destination. What is it that your target audience should be able to do? What is it that they should know? Or how should they act? And then you take the actual performance, and that is the current location of, like in your trip. What is it that they can do now? What is it that they know now? And how do they act now? So you take that optimal performance or that optimal condition, subtract it from the actual condition, and then you get your training need. To give an example, an optimal condition may be that students will use a scanner to scan graphics with high quality and small file size. I'm sure that you've seen scanned graphics put on a website or somewhere else where the graphic is too big and it runs off the page. That's because they're scanning it wrong. So the optimal condition would be that they would be able to scan something the right size and the right quality and put it on the page. Well, the actual condition is that they know how to operate a scanner kind of, but they scan with a resolution that's too high. And they use the wrong file type, and so it doesn't look very good and it's too big. And so what is it that they need? They need to learn the proper resolution and the proper file type for being able to scan the graphics in there. They're supposed to know how to do it. They don't know how to do it, so they have to learn how to do it. Now, how do you know what it is that the learners are supposed to be able to do? And how do you know what it is that they can do? Well, you have to collect data to do that. So the other part of your needs analysis is your data collection. And there are a number of ways in which you can gather this data. One is that you can have interviews. You can interview both the workers themselves or maybe their supervisors. You can administer surveys or questionnaires. You can form focus groups with just a few people and ask them questions. You can just observe people on the job and see what it is that they can and can't do. Or you can take some hard data from things like performance reports, employee records, or examinations or tests. And so for this class, you're going to create a needs analysis outline. And the way that you do that is that you start off with a brief description of your target audience. Who it is that your learners are. Are they employees of a company? Are they new hires? Who is it that you're designing the training for? Then you talk about, okay, what kind of data did you collect about these people? What were the sources for your data? Did you interview them? Did you talk to their bosses? Did you observe them? Did you administer a questionnaire or a test? And if you did, what were the questions that you asked? And then if you observed, what were the items that you observed? So that data collection part is how you collected the data, how you knew what it was that they needed to know and that they did know. Then you go into the data analysis. What was the optimal condition? What is it that they should know how to do or that they should be able to do? What is it that they actually can do? And then your need is the optimal condition, subtract the actual condition. What it is they should be able to do minus what they can do. That's the need. And then the other part of your needs analysis is the implications. If you don't do any training, what's going to happen? So 4 parts for your needs analysis. Describing your target audience, saying what data you collected, what was your analysis, what was the optimal condition, what was the actual condition, and then what is it that they need to learn how to do, and then the implications. What happens if you don't do training? That's your needs analysis assignment. So needs analysis helps you to identify the road between your learner's starting point and the destination where you want them to end up. It helps you determine what it is that your learners need, what it is they need to know, what it is they need to be able to do. And it also helps you decide what to include and what not to include in your training to make sure that you don't train them on things that they already know how to do and neglect to train them on the things they need to know how to do. And so this is why we do needs analysis. This is why needs analysis is the first major part of designing your training. We'll see you in cyberspace.